What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Trying to focus in on the Eastern Conference Finals preview as the Pittsburgh Penguins and Ottawa Senators will be facing off in the playoffs for the fifth time. Pittsburgh's 3-1 in those series, and all five series now have come with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin as members of the Penguins. Obviously a very, very upstart Senators team whose straw that stirs the proverbial drink is Erik Karlsson. I mean, he is the preeminent defenseman in the NHL today, and I will go so far as to say that because of his play, this will be the first time in Sidney Crosby's career he is not the best player in a playoff series. I get that's a really, really, really hot take, but he's just been that good that you say to yourself, well, he's driving the bus for the Senators. And that bus right now looks like it's going. Well, that bus is taking the Eastern Conference Finals. And again, just a testament to how talented of a player he is. But the rest of that blue line's kind of filled in nicely. I mean, obviously he's going to carry the load. But I mean, even Dion Phaneuf has had his moments. He's better than his contract. It's probably the best way to describe Phaneuf at this point. But Mathot, Ceci, guys like that have really filled in nicely and done their things when called upon. So, we'll see. We'll see if they can keep that up against a very, very high-powered Pittsburgh Penguins offense. Likewise, their forwards, no big names. I mean, Bobby Ryan technically, but he had 25 points this year, not goals, points. Pajot played very well because you have a 4-goal game in a series. That's always pretty good. We know how good Stone and Hoffman can be. We know how Kyle Turris, you kind of sleep on him, then he beats you. Their forwards are pretty talented, but it's Erik Karlsson on defense that's the be-all end-all for this team. And Craig Anderson has played very well at times. Been absolutely dominant at times. Craig Anderson's one of those guys. It just seems like you write him off, then every couple of years as one of the ones. I remember in Colorado, they took them to the playoffs with freaking Duchene's rookie year. They almost beat San Jose, who had a really high-powered team, and then it's been a couple other times. It's like, oh yeah, Craig Anderson's still a thing, and he's an elite goalie. And he's gonna have to be because Pittsburgh, they can bring the scoring. You look at what the points their point totals. I mean, Malkin 18 points in 12 games. Jake Kunzel broke the Penguins record for most points by a rookie in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I believe his name was Jaromir Jagr. Sid the Kid, when he's in the lineup, fucking excellent. You got to watch that head. Kessel is better than a point a game. I mean, they're just that offense is just too good. And I've made this comparison many times. You're like the New England Patriots, where you got your elite players, and then you just kind of plug everyone else in. And whether it's Jake Gunzel or last year Connor Sheary, Brian Rust, Wilson's had his moments. You plug those guys in your top six and you get results. I mean, I don't know. That's a testament not only to Mike Sullivan, but that was kind of the way it was with Johnston, and even before that with Danny Biles. But they don't need an elite winger to. I mean, they have Kessel. It's an elite winger. I don't care what they say about you in Toronto, Phil. But again, that's just how good their forwards are. And Jake Gunzel, 9 goals in the playoffs. And if you haven't read his Players Tribune piece, go ahead and do that. Hell of a read. Then on defense, they've been really, really banged up, and you don't have Chris Letang and your other. First of all, if you don't have Chris Letang on a team that's built around having Chris Letang below, you're kind of fucked. But Justin Schultz has stepped up. They've gotten different contributions from different defensemen all throughout the playoffs. I mean, Oli Mata, I think, is playing better than I expect him to be. And I thought he kind of regressed, and the injuries didn't help his case. But he's playing well. They've got Haynes, who came over at the deadline. He's played in very well. Despite being an older player, they've got some talent. On defense. That's again kind of like the Senators forwards. A lot of no names, but they can produce when it matters. And Justin Schultz is showing why he was such a highly touted player coming out of Wisconsin. This whole year with the Penguins, he's been excellent, and that's continued into these playoffs. So, again, this is a really talented group of skaters. And Marc-Andre Fleury, he wasn't supposed to be starting when the playoffs started, but he is now. He's done some great things. I mean, shit, this is probably the best version of Marc-Andre Fleury we've seen in the playoffs for a guy that's been in the league for 14 years now. And, again, he's really grabbed the bull by the horns. And, all year long there were the rumors about, would they leave him, for the expansion, unprotected for the expansion draft. Will he be in Vegas? Will Dallas or Calgary trade for him? It's like, no. He stayed the course in Pittsburgh, and they're reaping the benefits of it. He's been very good in these playoffs. And quite frankly, I think he's better than his numbers have shown. So, you look at the path these two teams have taken to get there. I mean, Ottawa I picked against in the series against the Bruins and the Rangers series. And then you look at the Penguins. I mean, I picked against them against Washington. I thought this was the Capitals' year, and they took the Capitals' year and shoved it. The sun doesn't shine. And then they beat a pretty good upstart Columbus Blue Jackets team in the first round as well, going back a little bit further. So, this is a team that's the Pens are the reigning Cup champs for a reason, and they're the reigning Cup champs when someone knocks them off. And, all due respect to Ottawa, I don't think it's going to be them. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins will win this series in 6 games. Anyway, that's all I got in this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.